Okay guys, today I'm going to explain the game called Dutch, a card game that I know as Dutch. So before we get started, important cards to know in the game of Dutch are the King of Diamonds, which is worth 0, Queens, and Jacks. Those are the only 3 cards that have kind of importance. Otherwise, all face cards are worth 10. All numbered cards are worth whatever number they are. And aces are worth 1 and jokers are worth 0. I've already dealt out the cards, so each player, you can play with more than 2, but for this demonstration we'll just play with 2. Starts off with 4 cards, and the way the game starts is the top card is flipped. In this case this is an ace, and each player gets to look at 2 of their cards. In this case, this is the King of Diamonds, so this is worth 0. And this is a queen. And if you ever pick up a queen and look at a queen, you're allowed to look at another card in your hand. In this case, you could look at the ace here. So we'll lean those up, and then this player gets to look at 2 cards. So they have a king and a jack. And with the jack, you're able to switch a card, any card you want, from your deck to the other pile of the other person. So in this case, you put the cards down. The one other rule is if you ever pick up a card that is the same as this card, you can play it right away. So in this case, this person, as soon as this card was flipped and they looked at these 2, one was the queen and then it was the ace, they would drop this. And then they would put those cards down, and then you're not allowed to look at your cards again. Over here, this is a king and a jack. So they would switch out this king for the ace and put that down, and then you remember where your cards are. If you switch out a card, then this card's not flipped. So then this is flipped and gets to be looked at by this person. They can either switch this card for one of the cards in here, or drop it. In this case, they'll drop it for a queen. Then you'd keep playing. So in this case, if this was an ace, probably what this person would do is they would switch out for a card they don't know. In this case, it would be a joker, so that is worth 0. So then this player here would switch out this card. So they would take the joker and drop a 5. And in this case, when you're no longer allowed to look at your cards, but when you think you have the lowest total hand, you knock twice, so they would knock twice. And that means it's the final round. So then in this case, this person would pick up a 5 and then probably switch out the 5 for their jack. And then when they play their jack, they can switch any of these cards. So they would maybe, and they don't know what these cards are, so they would switch it out, and then the hand would be over. So this person would have 5, 6, 7, and then that's 0. This person would have 3, and this person would have 6. So in this case, they knock twice, and then the round's over. This person would win. They'd have 7 points, or they'd have 5 points, excuse me, and this hand would have 7 points, and then you can play that as much as you want.